Hello and welcome to OVERDRIVE. I'm Shireen Pan. If you're wondering why I'm not outdoors as usual, it's because it's pouring cats and dogs in Delhi. Last week it was Mumbai. This week it's our turn. But we've got an action-packed show for you. And we started off with the icing on the cake. It's the first drive report of the super special Audi R8V10 Spyder. And for that super special car, you need a super special road. So we decided to send Bert off to do what he does best. Bert, take it away.
We said the Audi R8 was one of the greatest cars we have ever driven. It was as close to perfect as perfect can be. Why just us? Everyone around the world kept saying the R8 was the perfect supercar. Except me. On the 3 occasions before this, I was never a part of the team that drove and worked with the R8. To me, that was extremely frustrating. That explains why I had to reschedule a trip to Europe, a luxury holiday in the Himalayas, and a well-deserved Ayurvedic massage to come here to the Thar desert to drive a car whose perfection has been improved. But just how do you improve what's perfect? Simple. You take out the V8 and you put in a V10. And then you take the roof off the bloody thing. And then you drive Audi's R8 V10 Spyder on one of the greatest driving roads in all of India, the Bhuj Highway, to complete one of the most visually and orally spectacular driving experiences ever. But our story does not begin here amidst the Thar desert. It began way back in Bhuj. The highway from Kutch to Barmer and from there on to either Jaisalmer or Jodhpur is spectacular because of the extreme landscape it passes through. The Kutch was once ravaged by drought, famines and earthquakes. The ground too saline for anything to survive off it, and the temperatures, especially in summer, become unbearable for any living things. But economics has given Mother Nature a complete makeover. This superhighway, the NH15, connects Kandla port to the newly discovered and one of India's richest oil fields in Barmer region, as well as other economic centers such as Delhi and Ahmedabad. And that has brought money and technology to the region, giving it life and the means to survive hardships. Yet, in this landscape, the R8 V10 Spyder is a stark contrast. This is a fairly poor region. Not this car. This is an expensive car and it's a very luxurious car. Very rich too in every aspect. And then of course, the pace with which the R8 V10 Spyder moves is certainly far faster than the pace of development in the Kutch region. That speed comes courtesy its 5.2-litre direct injection V10 engine, which actually belongs to Lamborghini and is used in the Gallardo, but was designed and built by Audi. Sounds confusing, but that's what happens when you have too many siblings and all of them doing some pretty interesting work. Nonetheless, the R8's V10 engine makes 530 PS of max power and 530 Newton meters of max torque, which is hugely satisfying when you want to touch 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.3 seconds. The R8 V10 is most definitely your everyday supercar, provided of course you live in the big city where the roads are smooth, they're clean and they won't ruffle your under chassis. Because let's face it, the R8 definitely sits very close to the ground. And the only reason we're driving this car in Gujarat and in Rajasthan is because the roads are just fantastic. They aren't scarred anywhere, and most of all, they're fast and very entertaining. Gujarat has it all. Actually, almost all of it. All they need is to lift off prohibition, which will put an end to the black market trade and introduce a lot more non-vegetarian restaurants. The R8, on the other hand, was getting a lot of attention, and rightly so. With the roof off, this car looks sensational. The face hasn't changed, it's the same as the coupe. What it has lost is the side blade, a very distinguishing design element of the R8. Though what it has gained are the twin slats on the boot that give it an all-new edge. Taking the roof off may have compromised the structural integrity of the R8, and structural engineers with a passion for cars must be getting nightmares thinking about how one of the most perfect supercars in the world has been tarnished. Fear not, Audi's engineers compensated by strengthening the floor pan, adding stiffer structural members and generally ensuring nothing really compromises the structural integrity of this convertible supercar. The increase in weight from all that strengthening, however, does not affect the steering, which is pinpoint precise, allowing you to feel every twitch while directing your inputs precisely to the wheels. It's a phenomenally agile car, and that sort of agility is achieved by placing the engine somewhere in the middle and optimizing load distribution. 43% towards the front and 57% towards the rear. It quite literally swings around like it was on a needle point. The R8 suspension features magnetic ride, which basically is a system that has suspended metal particles inside the oil. When an electric current is passed through that oil, the magnetic particles stiffen the damping instantly. The technology is used in the TT and other performance cars from the Audi stable and is immensely capable at balancing sports car-like damping with luxury and comfort, adding to its aura of an everyday supercar. Unfortunately, the R8 Spyder isn't the most practical supercar. Whatever boot space was available in the coupe is occupied by the electronically foldable roof, and the storage space under the front hood is no larger than a picnic basket. Yet I'm willing to ignore all that because this car is just so much fun. I haven't enjoyed driving a car in India this much in a very long time. With the top down, the R8 Spyder feels much faster than the coupe, even though it isn't. It's the entire sensory experience of the wind assaulting your hair, the engine roar assaulting your ears, and the rapidly approaching horizon assaulting your eyes that makes this car special. This is a sensational road, this is a sensational drive, and this is a sensational car.